Hi, welcome to Catalyst Conversations. Today is episode 7, and you might notice that it's a different host today. I'm
Yeah,
Melvin. Because Joseph is right here, I'm going to be
peace.
interviewing him today.
Yep.
So, maybe just to start a little bit of a brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. So just before we deep dive into topics and some of my introduction, but yeah, this is what Catalyst does, right? So we are training new hosts like Melvin, amazing guy. At the same time, what we do actually on a podcast basis on each episode is to talk about anything about startups and businesses. So if you walk through from the very first episode one all the way to our last episode that we just launched a few days ago, episode 6, which is brilliant interview with
Mm,
Jan, right?
yeah.
And I would say it's all regarding to a journey that we have, that the founders that we interview went through, and hope that you listeners, and whether you are founders or founded to be, or you aspire to be a next entrepreneur, that will help you, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, but feels good to definitely contribute a bit of the podcast as well. So I'm Joseph. I'm actually doing different things, right? So I have my own business in the beauty line. So we do people patches, serums, and so on, Curie. And of course, as well as myself, also involved in this Ignite Asia, where we build podcasts, we educate so-called students and founders to be right in terms of anything necessity about startups, from raising funds to building your product as well. Right. And myself, we have ventured already a year as the and CEO for Joku. So Joku is an AI recruitment software, right? So he's invested by my boss that is part of a huge recruitment company in Malaysia, and we see the opportunity to go to technology, and hence why we have built that product for the past 6 to 7 months, AI recruitment software, right? So technically we help to automate so-called your hiring processes from the day when you want to post a job to source for candidates to receiving resumes, and then all the way to the part where you can schedule interviews, you can screen to who make it, who shortlist it, who make it, who don't make it, until offering them a job. So all these will be into the software because you automate that process. They easily save out 80% of your time and 80% of the cost for the company for having too many things, because you need to log into different portals to download certain resumes. Right? So that's what we're doing, and it's live, and we definitely wanted to launch that to Southeast Asia as well. So
Mm.
that's a bit of me, doing different things, and aspire to hopefully able to contribute a bit to this podcast, right?
Wow, that's great. All right, because you've worked on multiple things, you said.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to sum up your experience so far in
Hmm.
one sentence, what would that be?
Uh, I would say exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah, one word.
Yeah.
Yeah, one word is extremely excited. So it's why exciting is because doing multiple things, right? And you have to be excited because if today you're not excited enough to be passionate enough in things that you believe on, for example, I can just be very comfortable and continue my so-called like a full-time role, um, even though I do have some equity in the company as CEO for Joko. Everyone is happy. I'm happy. Everyone is happy, right? But I do still venture, and maybe you can deduct later on. Is like the opportunity only comes in because I'm excited to some of the ventures I'm doing, like for example, in Asia with podcasts like this, you know, as well as Kiori, which is a beauty brand that I built from scratch. So this is something that really changed the game, how I see things. So that's why I'm very excited. Yeah.
Wow. All right. It's great to be ambitious and excited for things, I guess,
Mm.
so you can do your best in it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, true.
Yeah. So again, as you mentioned, you did Joku, Kyori,
Mm-hmm.
and Ignite as well. Um, that's like so many things for a person to do full time. So
True.
how do you balance and manage so many different ventures?
That is a very good question, to be honest, because I think one of the big things that I would say, going back to how doing different things and how do you balance. Actually, regardless today whether you are doing businesses or you're not, even as a full-time employee today, right? Let's say 35 years old employee today, with married to wife, and they have two kids,
Hmm.
right? So the same question can implement like how do they balance their
Yeah.
life? Because it's full-time work, they need to have time with the wife and they have to take care of the kids and
Mm.
also have time with the kids because kids grow up in a very different situation today, like back in 20 years ago. Right, 20 years ago, maybe parents doesn't spend too much time, it's fine, but now it's all about giving them a healthy environment because
Yeah.
there's so many things going on. With a one click of phone, on one YouTube, they can expose to the whole world, right? Hence why parenting has gone different. And this is balance, finding balance, a work-life balance has the definition has also changed. Right. So how do I balance is actually very simple in the sense that because again, you have to be excited in things you do. And it's very much on to what you want. Today, if you are a full-time employee and you're married and kids is something you want to, no matter how you definitely gonna be balancing your time for the benefits of everything, right? So you still have to grow your career, you still can spend time with your family. Likewise, right? Me today, I don't have a kid, but how do I balance is very much yes, I have like a main job, which is Joko, right? And Curie and both Ignite I just recently just went consider my new venture, joined Ignite recently, and Curie as well recently, less than 6 months, right? So this is something that what I would say that same thing. Likewise, it's just that it just happens to be a status or the stage of my life right now, season of my life right now that I need to balance this.
Mm.
So compared to someone else balancing, family as well as work, or compared to someone, for example, a student in any university, it's in Monash, like you study in
Mm.
Monash, right? Monash, right? You can have a choice to balance exposing yourself with Ignite Asia, studying, do well in your studies, exams, and so on. At the same time, having a life with your friends,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So I think we are in a world that constantly changing, and the only thing that doesn't change is change yourself, right?
Mm.
So it's so important in the sense that I, to have a new definition of balance because at the end of the day, it is very much depends on how much you want it,
Mm.
right? And I also believe that the work-life balance generation or work-life balance so-called concept has to be redefined as well,
Yeah.
right? So in work-life balance, maybe 20 years ago is 9 to 5.
Mm.
You don't find me back at boss. You cannot find me after 6, for example. But work-life balance maybe today in a way is that hey, maybe hybrid working culture,
Yeah.
maybe giving more ownership because if you take that work, for example, like me, I'm taking all my projects, the three things I'm doing passionately because I take it as my own.
Mm.
Then maybe it's not working, right? So definitely have to change to fit the current modern situation because you got to be hustling. Uh, I think people are more like a hustler these days, and the conditions is not as easy as back in 20 years ago.
Mm.
That's why definitely have to change as well.
Mm.
Mm.
I see. So basically, you could say this balance is in a way is time management as well.
Yeah, yeah. Setting priorities, right? So okay, maybe I can break down into two. So most important is setting priorities,
Mm.
right? So we all heard of you watch YouTube, we all heard of this amazing thing, right? It's like a cup, then a teacher put the stones,
Mm.
then after they put some small stones and sand. For example, if today my bigger stones are family, then maybe 80% of your time, right, it is on family, right? And then maybe the rest, families, friends and so on, right? Or for example, like mine, I would say maybe 40% of my time is putting in Joku, another 20% on Curie and Ignite, maybe another 20%, right? And then left over 20%, which is for friends and family,
Mm.
right? So putting priorities right.
Yeah.
And priorities, there's no definition of whether it's right or wrong. It's up to you. You
Mm.
decide, right?
Yeah.
So most important thing is that if this is a season that you've gone through, be prepared to sacrifice, right? So first thing is priority. Second thing, be prepared to sacrifice certain things. For example, I might not go out often for nights hangout because of certain things you're working on, right? It's very simple. So try to leverage on the priority and prepare to sacrifice something, right? And that will help you to achieve the balance that you wanted because the balance
Mm.
is defined by you. You define. So my definition of balance and your definition of balance work life is different.
Mm,
Yeah. So it's all based on you.
I see. That's great to hear. Um, yeah, let's talk about a different thing right now. So, making the shift from juggling multiple projects like you are right now into focusing on fewer tasks. Um, what did that mindset change like for you?
Great. So means um, juggling between all the projects,
Mm,
and then yeah, technically is how can you do more by doing less?
mm,
That is what it means,
mm,
right? So when I do sales back then, right, many years ago, I learned this. I think a lot of companies today, especially B2Bs, we practice this. We call Pareto principle,
mm,
the 80-20 rules.
mm,
20% of your income today is from the, sorry, 80% of your income today is from the 20% of your customers, right?
mm,
Same thing. 80% of your income today can be from the 20% things that you do, right? So doing more doesn't mean doing right. Doing a lot of things doesn't mean you can make you like, hey, to achieve the 80%. But doing that little right thing will help you to achieve the 80% of the things you want to achieve, right? So juggling between, a lot of things today, like Curie, Joko, and Ignite Asia. Likewise, the same time, having to achieve a certain, because running a business is about sales, managing people, managing your time, managing your health, right? And talk about a lot of entrepreneurs burnout is becoming like a new topic
yeah.
now, right? And then you have, Joko, which is I have a boss as well as like an investor to respond to. You cannot go into 1 week or 2 weeks without sales, right? So how do we juggle based on the expectations that has already for each of the projects? Same time, how can you do it in a sense that doing less can achieve more? Right? So one of the things that today I practice in everything I do today is 20% of my effort can achieve 80% of my the result that I wanted, right? And the 20% will comes with additional,
Mm,
right? It can be coming from someone contributing, your team contributing, or can be from other factors, right? And by doing so, it helps you to work smart,
mm,
right? So today, like I said, you do more doesn't mean you're doing, doesn't mean you'll be successful because you might not doing the right thing. Give you a scenario today, right? So Joko is a application tracking system, which is an AI recruitment system. We just launched, right? So and now we are building the platform, building the marketing, trying to build a pipeline that we're gonna push customers, and we need to get the words out. For example, this is the stage that I need to do now, right? But what I mean is that doing a lot more doesn't mean you're going to be successful. For example, if I went and start hiring, I start, doing collaboration. I start looking into maybe perhaps um, doing aggressive marketing when the app just launched and we're still getting the soft launch phase.
mm,
Is that necessary for the current season? Maybe no. But yes, 3 months later or 2 months later. Yeah. So working smart means working, knowing your conditions right now, knowing what you need right now, and achieve it. Another thing I want to share is that I recently bumped into, not recently, it's quite a while ago, into a leadership guru. You can find in podcasts as well. He said one, right? So there's a word called get more, GETMO, good enough to move on,
mm,
right? So I think a lot of things, normally these situations will happen is that I'm a perfectionist myself. I want things done like very particular in a certain way, and I can stay on that thing very very long until it's perfect. But the truth is that you can never get perfect on something because no matter how good you do something, there's always someone to comment.
mm,
So again, right, good enough to move on
mm,
is to know that if today you're developing a product or you're doing a project, doing a deck, for example, a pitch deck, if your customer buy to it, know,
yeah.
it's done deal.
Yeah.
You don't have to stress about the graphic.
Mm,
Sorry, I need to edit the animation. Or the color, I need to decorate a new color. Right? I like what Jamon said before last week. In a cafe, you put a cloud light,
yeah.
lamp. Does it help you to get more sales? If it's not, then why are you wasting time on it, right? So that is getting smart in terms of managing your finances,
Mm,
getting your sales in. Mine is more time in the sense that If today the slides is good enough, you presented, why spend another 2 more hours on that?
Mm.
Spend 2 more hours to do another project,
Mm.
right? So I think it's a mindset shift. You need to get right the priorities, and then you can move on, right? And it's tough for me because it took me years to learn because I'm a perfectionist, right? I get stuck on one freaking slide for a few days, dude. Like, then I realized, okay, what do I get? If I spend, for example, 40 minutes on a slide and I spend 2 days on a slide, if the result is the same, why I spend 2 days on a slide?
Mm.
Dude, I can get so many things done in 2 days, right? That's the mind shift. And that's what I'm practicing, and that's what I said. 20% of effort to 80% of result. It, of course, you sometimes you get 80, sometimes you get 100, sometimes you get 90, but it's not about the percentage. You don't have to be particular in percentage, but it's the concept of how you do things, right?
Mm.
And it's changed the way you manage things, right? And hence why I wouldn't say I'm managing extremely well. There's always challenges. There's
Mm.
always time where I feel like, oh shit, am I doing too much?
Mm.
But that kind of concept helps me to do things better, more effectively, spend my time more effectively and efficiently as well, than compared to not practicing this concept.
Mm. I see. Um, would you say a lot of people's mindset into that perfectionist, I
Mm.
guess, mindset is because of what they've done in school? Like, um, let's say as a student, you're expected to get good
Mm.
grades, 100. Oh
Mm.
yes, I'm gonna study this. I'm gonna do this until like the best I can
Mm.
because they're not managing those trade-offs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would say yes,
Mm.
and also no, because not just students today. You can be, a kid that grow up. I would say the background of how the kids grow up does play a factor,
Mm.
but also sometimes some people are just nature into
Naturally, yeah.
uh, perfectionists,
Mm.
right? And I want to just add, likewise today, right? So you're going to corporate, you will soon experience this.
Mm.
How- Even probably you experience this assignment project,
Mm.
the group project. The topic is technically okay. We gotta build. The project maybe can say okay, sell, or maybe say okay, earn $100, sorry, 100 ringgit in Malaysia by in 3 months time, means by your cost end.
Mm.
Very simple. For example, earn 100 ringgit in 3 months end. So in the project, some people will say, hey, let's build an AI product.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean, it's like some people say, hey, you know what? Why don't we just sell ice cream then? Some say, hey, you know what, this we sell. And some say, you know what, we need to build an app. Right. So what I'm trying to say is this, right? Sometimes the perception is very different, right? You make an AI, you can sell 100 ringgit easily, of course, because AI. You sell ice cream, you can earn more than 100. You can do a resale, you can earn more than 100.
Yeah.
Or you build apps likewise. But look at the costing and the time.
Mm.
That's the thing. And that's why group discussion, likewise, if a project today your lecturer gave it to you, just look into some of the discussion. Sometimes discussion can be get too overly excited. It's like they can on steroids, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? Yes, maybe there's someone just okay. Let's do a research on the companies in Malaysia. They start doing research instead of just focusing. Oh, you know what? Malaysia, maybe Asia or something. They can go research 1,000 companies and then break down into it. So that is does that necessary,
Mm.
right? So and that is also a mindset of professionalism. Professionals, they wanted to make sure they coverage all the aspects and then they make a best decision.
Mm.
But I came in a long way knowing that no matter how perfect background work you have done, at the end of the day, there's also, no matter how there's someone that will have a different comment, perspective. It's about subjective and not about perspective. Hence why I waste so much time.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
um, okay, let's move on a little bit
Mm-hmm.
further. Let me give you this topic.
I like it.
Knowing how to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you decide which opportunities or tasks to pass on or to
Mm.
stay focused on your core goals? Which to say no to, who to say no to, like
Yeah.
what to say no to. Yeah.
I love this question. So I can never say no. So
Mm.
I started with that kind of myself that I always say yes to a lot of things too.
Mm.
I have done so many things that I feel like, why, like maybe I think back like 5 years ago, why did I even like join this company? Or why they even do things when they ask me, like, not even as, like, I don't even learn anything. But I just cannot say no because, I'm, first of all, I'm too afraid maybe. And secondly, my mindset back then is like, I just want to learn
Mm.
anything, everything, I don't care, learn, let's grab.
Mm.
So I think the benefits of when you are at the school days, which is the uni days like you right now, all the way to maybe fresh grad, like below to 25, practice this of not saying no because I
Mm.
want to get as many as possible, right?
Yep.
And of course, once you reach 25 and then you be a little bit smarter, a little bit more experienced, then you started to still say, I still say yes, but I begin to question myself, do I will accept it next time again? No, then next time I say no, right?
Mm.
Then of course, reach probably late 20s and then early 30s, that's where you are smarter and you reach to a certain experience that you know that, hey, this is not for you. But yes, so how do I come to a point that I'm able to now, right now, knowing that whether that is for me and not? Two things. One goes back to the experience that I have. So my advice to a lot of students today, if you start, to be honest, the best days of my life is when I was at the universities.
Mm.
Why I say so? Your job, your main task is to do well in studies, for sure. But your main task is also to get as many exposure as possible
Yeah.
because whatever you learn in a textbook, in schools, are going to be slightly, all very, very different. But this slightly means if you're engineers, then you won't change much,
Yeah.
lah, right? But if you're in business or you maybe PR, so I don't know what I call them, multimedia, right?
Mm.
Mass comm,
Mm.
it's going to be different,
I see.
because you deal with people, you deal with companies,
Yeah.
and your textbooks are totally, so get exposure, right? Join Ignite, for example, like you, right?
Mm.
Join more clubs. You can do a part time. You can build a business. It's so easy to start a business. Because you are at the age where you study, right? So there's a lot of opportunities, and then don't give to yourself too much pressure. Say, hey, I need to be your next Bill Gates
Mm.
or next Carson. Sure, right? So of course, having this dream is important, but because if you start with the real intention, your so-called your takeoff gonna be better instead of stressing yourself. Hey, I want to be next custom where until today there's only just one unicorn still in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of things can matters, right? How to say no is when, like I said, the experience shaped me because I've been through so much. I get myself so much exposure.
Mm.
Then now I know that what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Hey, this one is not my cup of tea. I give you one scenario. I joined so many clubs. I joined language clubs. I joined sports. I don't know. I was one of the committee to organize events. Back then when I was studying in China, so we do music events, festivals,
Mm.
and then you want me when I fresh grade, I joined like back in my company back then Shell. So we joined a lot of committee events. We organize same thing running events. We organize programs. Yeah, I joined a committee to organize so called like a away day, annual dinner, so on. And then I joined like in church exposures back then. We have this called like a students event, right?
Mm.
Exposure. Then now I know what I want because I have joined so many events that they give me exposure enough to meet as many people as well, and so that to know, oh, my strength is actually me perhaps speaking
Mm.
in business, right? And for example, if your strength is let's say you join a music club and your strength is music, then hey, it is something you need to hold. If another opportunity comes, then I would say yes. For example, I can play some music too, but I feel like that's not my real strength. Hence why when it comes, and you know what, there's no opportunity. I don't like to prioritize that because that's my strength.
Mm.
And it comes with experience and it comes with a lot of exposure, and that's why expose yourself. Second is very simple. Like so I said, experience. Second is to know your purpose. What do you want to do? Right?
Mm.
So always ask
Yeah.
yourself what do you want to achieve in the next 5 years and then what you want to achieve in 10 years.
Mm.
See, achieving can be different, right? So not just monetary achievement,
Mm.
not just your status achievements, let's say from single to married or from executive to a C-suite, for example.
Yeah.
Not just this, but your purpose in life is very important. If your purpose today is, hey, you know what, I'm gonna learn as many as possible in the next 8 years. By 30, I'm gonna build a business. Then knowing when to say no and yes is very simple already. Because you know what, maybe now I keep saying yes to a lot of things, especially business events. Nothing, the rest maybe no. And then once I reach to the start business, then I'm more niche towards the events that I only to attend or things, projects that I need to attend that relates to my business. Saying no and yes is very simple. Experience and your purpose. What you want to achieve. You know yourself well, then it's very easy to say yes or no.
Mm,
Yeah. And then ties back to working smart, living smart, and managing a balanced life.
yeah.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how much capacity you can do if you
Mm,
are doing well, managing your time.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more on that same topic.
Mm.
Can you give maybe an example
Mm.
in like a professional scene,
Yeah.
like excluding earlier, like you said, music and
Mm.
all, but let's say a professional scene, maybe you're dealing with colleagues or boss.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like it. I think it's very common, right? So share my experience instead, right? So I do sales, right? So a lot of drinking events,
Mm,
for example. Even drinking events, there's a lot. You drink with the exec,
yeah.
drink with the secretary, you drink with the boss itself, right? And also business meetings. You're meeting with perhaps the CEO directly, having lunch meet, breakfast meet,
Yep.
or you're just doing a meeting with the whole team,
Yep.
right? So, for example, give you a scenario, right? For example, if today at the early stage, what I do is that if today I want to approach your customers at an early stage, yeah, probably I will meet the whole team. I will spend time with the technically the PICs, right? And then once we build the rapport, then I will go up to perhaps a CEO, for example, right? And then just to hush base, then he know me, we know him, then he feel comfortable with us, right? So all this, I would say yes to. Then my question is that will you still continue saying yes? Let's say if they keep asking you on a weekly basis,
Mm,
is it necessary when the deal is with you? So that some people may say, hey, you know what? Then you're just doing things very intentional because you just want to sales, then you close, you not the
yeah.
service. See, that's a different thing. Networking can be a lot of things from doing well in your job. You can still servicing them, whatever inquiry, whatever problem they face, you are still attending them. At the same time, you might not need to attend events that is not necessary,
Hmm.
where you can spend that time to build new customers,
Yeah.
right? That's the key goal, right? So a lot of people mix networking and work together is together. Well, if a good salesman today, or you a good manager, or you good business owners, founders, if you are focused, because today, if I'm your customers today, I don't want to have a person that I'm dealing with mainly just good at, I don't know, talking and drinking, for example. But I will subscribe to your services, you solve it, you provide me a good service, and that's good. I wouldn't say, oh, I cut off just because yeah, you're not spending time with me because it's business
Yeah.
and business, man, right? Then whatever outside is, oh, you know what, I like you as a friend. We think we can connect and collaborate more besides just business. Then by all means, please go if you have time. Yeah, that is something I always like to say. Yeah.
I see. Wow. All right. Um, let's go back to the topic of multiple ventures, what you're
Okay.
doing. So burnout is definitely a real risk.
Yes.
Yep. So have you personally experienced it?
Yep.
And how, if you did, how did you manage to overcome it?
It's another good question. I don't know if I experience like a burnout,
Mm,
but every day, dude, every day I'm asking myself, dude, why am I doing so many things? Should I cut off like
yeah.
maybe no, especially I mean, as a guy that runs businesses, right? And also like I say, I'm a very marketing and sales driven person about numbers, about ROI, about conversion,
Mm,
right? So especially some things, if it's, for example, QRE, right? If it does not achieve the sales numbers that I wanted, yeah, maybe not worth lah.
mm.
Should I quit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Daily basis, I'm questioning myself, right? There's always a voice that's saying, hey, why work so much? Why you have so much, right? Like, you don't need to, right? So I think how to overcome it again, it ties back to your purpose. So I'm doing it because I'm very clear in my mind, knowing that when I look back 5 years later, today's decision, I make it. So I question myself like, if by today is this year is 2024, so by 2028, for example, 5 years later, I look back to 2024 today when I'm speaking to you and the things I've done. Will I regret? If my answer is saying no, and even now is no, then so be it. Yeah. So burnout is because when you lose purpose and then you're doing on a Monday, you say, "Hey, I'm doing this, doing that. I don't know why I'm doing it, why I'm doing that." No, and then the moment you become to that, and drag into that state of your life, then burnout comes in because you start to be a little bit more bitter in the things. You, rejection comes in from a client, you got bitter, take it too personal. You got very demotivated when you did not achieve the target you want to, or your business are not earning as much as you want to, because there's always ups and downs in everything we do.
Yeah.
It burns up, you just come in, and then you get demotivated, and the next thing is, yeah, I want to quit.
Mm.
Or you still not going to quit, you're going to stay on, stay on, stay on, stay on, and then you just lose yourself, right? And I don't think it's just business, I think it's life, for example,
Yeah.
right? In studies as well, right? It can happen. And the only way, my personal opinion, and what I practice is that to always go back to your core purpose. I'm very clear why I do so much today because I don't want to look back in 5 years later. I regret.
Mm.
That doesn't mean I'm not cutting something, right? If a new opportunities, for example, that fits my better with my strength, I will go and I'll cut something. So again, that is another topic to talk about because that has to be smart in navigating it. And again, to go back to Jen saying that actually there's nothing wrong to close a business or sell a business
Yeah.
or fail a business. It's part of the process. Instead of dragging on. So again, you go back to you need to know what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and a purpose in life. Your purpose in life is the business because you want to provide more job opportunities to people, and maybe perhaps you want to change the way you have this product. Like we always, I normally always advise them about some business. Always go back to the core. What problem you want to solve? If you really believe in that problem, then it shouldn't be burning out because of rejection. Because you always go back to believing your product that you solve the problem. If it's not, then yeah, do some tweak about it. Mm.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of them just hitting that reset button, thinking of why they started in the first place.
Yeah, because the truth is this, you see, I can share a bit more because I've been in corporate for very long and then I started a business.
Yeah.
Business is so tough. It's
Mm.
so hard. Corporate world, sometimes boss will say, okay, you know what, you did a mistake. Okay, be better, right? Of course, some you get fired
Yeah.
or whatever like that. But some, you know what, one more chance. In business world, it's no chance. It's like, oh, your pitch is not good. Thank you very much. Uh, hey, yeah, you think about it. Then the moment you left, you tell secretary, you know what, don't entertain this guy anymore.
Uh,
And that's business. Yeah. And especially you want to do a bigger deal when the guys only have 2 minutes of your time. So then
mm.
it comes back to you like, how can you? I've been there. So when I started, again, these are three things I'm doing, right? So before, again, like I said, I have a lot of exposure. So before I venture into so-called what I'm doing right now, doing so many things, I started a logistic, like a something like Lala Move and so on, right?
Mm.
So it's a P-hailing company, and then what we do is that because I see a competition so much in the food F&B and of course parcel delivery, then we do a bit more niche in terms of we do fragile items. So I send cakes, flowers, prices, those that technically, uh, whatever you send out has to be the same shape goes to the customers.
Mm.
For example, he doesn't want to. No florist in this world wants a flower to go to the customer and then it's like something
Yeah. Yeah.
the petals drop
Yeah.
off or something. No,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They want exactly perfect. So we doing that. I still remember my very first few clients. I was there like pitching and he says, "Dude, I only have 5 minutes. I'm nobody," and he's a like Nipo is a chain of a cake shop, 10, 20 chain. I want that sales, and that is how real it can be. And business is tough,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, as much as tough it is, right? Is always go back to your core. That's all I can say. Because if not, just because of this, for example, I'm lucky I managed to close the deal. What if I did not manage to close the deal and I lost that 5-figure deal
Mm.
for a start company that I invested not even more than 1,000 is a good deal,
Yeah.
right? Then I question myself, will I still continue it? If yes, then you're on the right track. If no, why? Question
Mm,
yourself. And it's fine to always question yourself, though. It's fine.
mm.
Mm.
Okay, I see. Yeah, actually, burnout, we can really talk even further about it, especially with someone who
Yeah,
actually has it and
yeah,
how they deal with it.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think it's a really a separate topic. It's a huge
yeah,
topic.
yeah, for
Again,
sure.
you can just do a whole podcast with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it is definitely real, right?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm. Well, maybe the listeners, if burnout is something that you guys like to hear, maybe you can let us know.
yeah,
We can, we definitely have a lot of experts on talking about that as well.
yeah, for
Mm.
sure. All the founders, all their failures and all right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. We're about to come to a close.
Okay.
Let me ask maybe two more questions.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so um, actually, sorry, no. Let's do one more question.
Okay.
We
Sure.
basically answered the question in that burnout topic
Okay.
thing. So finally, what's one key piece of advice you
Yeah.
would give and share to people who are actually doing things like you, who are juggling multiple things
Mm.
and trying to stay productive without burning out?
Yo, for first of all, there's a lot of people like me,
Yeah.
right? So especially I think the modern society is that we always constantly want to to grow ourselves. And you see, what's the one thing to stay away from burning out? Also, trying to have a balance of what you do. I would say going back to I don't keep repeating this. I don't want to be like a broken record, but
Mm,
so maybe perhaps I ask you right why you do what you do. You can ask me why I started Curie Beauty Company because I see the vision that there's a need for working adults, middle age, whether it's female or male, to have a transparent pimple patch. So pimple patch is really gone really huge now,
yeah.
but it's all the cute,
Yeah.
What about you work, you work, put a flower and you're 30 years old? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I try and I feel like, oh no, it's not me. But you need it because you have a presentation tomorrow. So how?
Mm,
Right? Well, makeup and so on, a more organic makeup that protects your skin. Right? Today is all about image. That's where I started curing. And Joko, everything is about tech now. It's talk about AI. We want to revolutionize recruitment system and recruitment processes in Malaysia. And there's so many companies. Kid you not, even the big ones, the brand name when I say, oh, you sure know, are still having a manual process of recruitment.
mm,
That's where I want to revolutionize. Why
I
not?
see.
Right. My Asia is to to do these kind of things. So always go back to your core. Ask yourself why you do this. If you can answer yourself and you commit the answer, then solve. It's not even a question of burning out. It shouldn't even be a question of like how tough it is because you're not working anymore. You are doing something with purpose and you own it. So then it's not an issue.
Wow. Okay, maybe one final thing.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to the audience now? Just maybe some closing words.
Good. Listen to podcasts and support Melvin. Of course, support me. What we do has really to educate and to inject more encouragement. Right. But the most important thing is today is doesn't matter. Today you can have a full-time job, you do a side business, or you can do some commission-based freelance. All these are actually technically multitasking or juggling, finding a balance,
Yeah.
right? So if you need help, you can always come find us. And my link is Joseph Chin. You can also find Ignatius Melvin. Of course, we can put in the caption.
Yep.
But yes, talk to us, and then we can collaborate more as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As you said, your socials are on LinkedIn, Joseph
Yeah, my
Chin.
Joseph
Okay.
Chin on LinkedIn. Of course, slash Crafty Joe. So that's my the LinkedIn
Mm.
profile. But yeah, so I
All right.
hope we can speak more next time.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
watching. This has been episode 7, and yeah,
See you guys
see you.
again. Thank you.
Thank you.